few days for your free screening.
Jackpot lottery.
Heroes.
2 weeks. We're going to try to offer you some last-minute help with the man in charge of all the collections. Of the United Nations, former Attorney General Elliot Richardson tells Fred Graham what's being done to help. All of that's coming right up. Stay with us as Nightwatch continues.
It's important to me to be in control, and I want control over my... That's why I have my IRA, Charles Schwab. From one investment to another. I can buy stocks, zero coupon bonds. I think looks good, and sell what I don't want. In fact, the Charles Schwab IRA doesn't have any fees. No setup, no maintenance, no penalty fees. I'd recommend the Charles Schwab IRA.
Free 800-247.
Club sandwich.
Well, I'll have the soup.
A sandwich.
Midair. Bonds almost anything. A plastic knob, a plastic plug, a rubber boot, a metal brooch, a fishing rod, a cycle grip, model planes and model trains, a doorknob screw, a flashlight case, the broken trim on any car.
And Crazy Glue also comes in this pen. Just press to apply. No drip, no clog. Crazy Glue works like crazy. Tube or pen. Get some today.
The country's gone crazy.
Crazy Glue in tube or pen.
Crazy Glue.
In the news, searchers off Florida's Cape Canaveral have recovered a large piece of solid rocket booster from the shuttle Challenger, but officials don't yet know if it's from the suspect Wright booster. Navy vessels looking for the rest of the crew cabin have been hampered by bad weather, but conditions are said to be improving. Airline traffic should be up to full speed later today in and out of the Anchorage. A last black cloud of ash from the August. A leading OPEC oil minister says world oil prices may plunge even more unless the cartel takes action in 2 weeks. The minister from the United Arab Emirates says a barrel of oil could fall to $5 if OPEC doesn't agree on a strategy to shore up prices. You hear a lot about federal spending, but how much of it is on people? On every person in the U.S. last year. Sparsely populated Alaska topped the list overall.
Without fail, it happens every year at this time. The tax man cometh. Millions of Americans all over the country search through their drawers for little slips of paper that may help ease the bite of Uncle Sam. Whether they prepare their own returns or do it with the help of an accountant, They produce a huge load of paperwork for the Internal Revenue Service. This year, the government is expecting to receive a record 104.4 million returns. So far, the IRS computers seem to be coping better than last year. 1985 will go down as something of a nightmare in the history of the American tax system. Returns were lost, refunds were late, and the IRS was the target of a flurry of criticism. IRS Commissioner Roscoe Egger even apologized to taxpayers in a letter on this year's forms. If you still haven't filled out those returns, it's not too late to try to save a little money. One of the easiest deductions is still available, opening an individual retirement account, an IRA. But for many of us, the hardest task ahead is planning for the future. The entire federal income brackets, deductions, and exemptions may all be changed. The situation is likely to get more confusing before it gets simpler. So the answer here: should you invest in a tax shelter? Should you go ahead and buy that vacation home? Should you buy a car this year or wait? Should you purchase a tax-free municipal bond? Advice on this year's tax returns and a preview of what's in store for the future, all this week in a series called The Taxman Cometh. We began this morning by talking with the person who's overseeing the entire tax-paying operation. CBS correspondent Gary Schuster recently spoke with IRS Commissioner Roscoe Egger.
Mr. Egger, the Internal Revenue Service has asked for $340 million to get through the rest of this fiscal year. Why is that necessary, and what happens if you don't get the emergency?
Up to put the number of people in the service centers that we had. Some violence that's done to the system over the past by cutting back on our supervision, back on the personnel in our computer rooms, things of that kind. We had to step up our supervision and our technical specialists in order to make this season go the way it should go.
Well, is that to make sure that it doesn't go the way it did last year when you had the snafu with the checks?
Yes, sir. Exactly. That's correct, Gary. This year, we're already way ahead of last year in terms of how the processing is going and all that. So.
How come you came up so short? Did you miss?
Six budget was put together. Keep in mind that our budget last year, and a lot of these problems of course had to come forward with a supplemental that was
IRS.
Graham Redmond cuts our budget by about $157 million.
More people, I mean, you're calling for more people, more help on telephones, I guess, more. Audit. Is that why you need?
It's hard to say which is first, the chicken or the egg, but since during the last 10 years or so, we've dropped down from nearly a 5% audit coverage to, and at the same time, that we aren't out there auditing as many returns as we did before. And to the auditing process, examining returns, produce about $10
money. I mean, do they have to come back with something, you know, tantamount to that, about 10, you know, 10 times?
Absolutely not. We have